There's something almost poetic about working in a cruise ship kitchen during storm season. The sea roars, the decks tilt, and the galley becomes a theater of controlled chaos, a place where culinary precision meets pure adaptability. For guests, it's a time to sip wine and watch waves crash against panoramic windows. For the kitchen crew, it's a dance of balance, timing, and tenacity, quite literally. Picture this. The ship sways 15 degrees to starboard, and suddenly, that pot of velouté has ideas of its own. You learn quickly to anchor everything: pots, trays, yourself. Every move is calculated, every surface wiped dry, because one stray droplet could mean a slip, and one slip could send dinner service into disarray. Yet, amid the unpredictability, there's an almost meditative rhythm. The galley hums with the metallic clatter of ladles and pans, the scent of roasting meats, and the soft whir of the oven fans, all playing in time with the sea's heartbeat. Storm nights often revealed who had true sea legs. The old-timers barely blinked, slicing vegetables with the precision of surgeons, while newcomers turned a bit green around the gills, desperately trying to hold both their composure and their stomachs. I still remember my first real squall at sea. I was plating salmon en croûte, the pastry perfectly golden, when a sudden lurch sent half the tray sliding toward the floor. Reflexes kicked in. I caught it midair, barely, and my sous chef gave me that rare approving nod that meant, "Now you're one of us." But storms weren't just tests of physical balance. They were lessons in calm leadership and adaptability. Orders still had to go out. Guests still expected elegance, not excuses. In those moments, the galley was less about cooking and more about orchestration. Who could think 3 steps ahead? Who could improvise when supplies ran low or a freezer decided to malfunction mid-service? The ability to stay composed when the world quite literally tilted was a mark of true professionalism. And then came the other side of the story: silver service. On calm days, when the ocean stretched like glass, we'd shift gears from survival mode to full finesse. Imagine serving a 6-course menu to 300 guests, each plate identical in detail and temperature, under chandeliers that swayed just enough to remind you that you were dining between continents. Timing was everything. The maitre d' announcing the next course, waiters gliding in synchronized precision, and the kitchen team working in quiet, purposeful motion. Silver service was a spectacle in itself. The elegant choreography between waitstaff and galley, the polish on the cutlery, the silent communication of raised eyebrows and subtle hand gestures. It wasn't just about the food, it was about theater. Guests expected glamour, and we delivered. Even if, behind the swing doors, someone was wrestling a misbehaving sauce or praying the soufflé wouldn't collapse. There's an art to maintaining grace under pressure, and nowhere is it tested more than at sea. You can't just run to the store when something goes wrong. You learn to make do, to get creative. Need fresh herbs but the shipment's delayed? You find ways to coax flavor from citrus, vinegar, or roasted garlic. Out of puff pastry? Roll your own between services. It's the kind of problem-solving that stays with you forever. It's what makes land kitchens feel almost too easy. What sticks with me most from those seasons isn't the fancy dinners or the demanding guests. It's the camaraderie. We were a floating family, sharing midnight coffee after service, laughing about the absurdity of plating foie gras in a 30-knot wind. You learn to rely on each other in a way that few other kitchens demand. Every storm survived together was a badge of honor. Every smooth service, a small miracle. Looking back now, I realize how much that experience shaped my philosophy as a chef on land. The discipline, the teamwork, the focus on detail, all of it comes from those nights when the sea refused to cooperate. When I train young chefs today, I tell them, if you can plate beautifully in a storm, you can handle any kitchen in the world. So the next time you sit down at a beautifully laid table, whether on land or sea, spare a thought for the crew behind the scenes. Somewhere out there, a team of chefs is carving roasts and whisking sauces as waves crash just beyond the bulkhead, keeping silver service shining through the storm. And the fun part? Even after years ashore, I still instinctively brace myself whenever a restaurant wobbles from a passing truck. Old habits die hard, especially the ones learned at sea.